Hello, people of the internet, and welcome back to this channel. And I don't do book reviews as of such. I mostly just review comic books or the books that I've read recently, of course, which are just comic books and which I do on my main channel. So recently, I read this book called On God by Krishnamurti, and I wanted to talk about it because I personally feel this is one of the only books that I've read up till now that I have felt very resonated with, and with that, I felt that this very much aligns with what I have to say, with my message towards the world, and with what I am bringing on social media and on people's lives as well. And that is the reason I wanted to discuss this book. So this will be a brief kind of summary or and review about this book, which is called On God. So this is not like actually a book. It is not a written book. It is a compilation of public speeches, his personal notes, and many of the interviews that he has given all around the world, all across the world. So this is a compilation of all of that, and I just wanted to talk about it, share some of my views about it, and just enhance this experience for you if you pick up this book and if you want to read it sometime soon. So basically, this book, it starts with a introduction of who Krishnamurti is. Krishnamurti is basically like this Indian philosopher, Indian kind of spokesperson, you can say, for the world, one of the brilliant minds that we have had in a very, very long time. And he went and gave speeches all across the world: America, Europe, Australia, Britain, everywhere. Even in India, he visited many different states. He talked with many people. He was open to questions from anyone, from kids to adults, anyone. And he was open to interviews as well. So all these talks mostly feel repetitive, especially in this book, because he talks about many different subjects. So of course, when he talks about a certain subject, it might feel repetitive, and this book definitely feels a lot repetitive. However, there is also a lot of new things that he adds on to or says as he kind of moves on with his life. Like, of course, something that is said in 1941 may be different from something said in 1961. Not fully different, but it kind of adds on to it. Like, as even as a human, one lives through something, and that is why they add on to it more and more. But similarly, if you check out, like, if something in 1941, if something in the same year is said, it is said something very similar, and many times it is just the same thing, even the words are the same. So that is something that kind of is, you know kind of gets very repetitive at times, but it's fine because the book is interesting, of course. Now, what basically is the premise of this book? So this book is literally Krishnamurti telling us or asking us to inquire within ourselves what God is. Like, this is J. Krishnamurti on God. However, what are your thoughts on God? That is what first you have to inquire with yourself. Because if you have this formulated ideas about what God is, about what this supreme being is, then unfortunately you are nowhere near the truth, because the truth is not in thoughts, not in dogmas, not in kind of religious idols. The truth is within you, and that truth should be seen naked. That truth should be seen without any lenses. That truth should be seen without any kind of preconceptions, without any kind of things attached to your mind, without anything that deviates your thought from what something truly is. And that is what J. Krishnamurti says about God. So basically, let me read out to you the first kind of introduction to this book, and you will get what I'm saying. But there is sacredness that is not of thought, nor of feeling, resuscitated by thought. It is not recognizable by thought, nor can it be utilized by thought. Thought cannot formulate it, but there is a sacredness, untouched by any symbol or word. It is not communicable, it is a fact. Krishnamurti's notebook, 28 June 1961. So, this is basically kind of his experience of what he experienced at that time, of a feeling or an experience of this God, this supreme being, or the state of mind, if you were to say so. And this is his description of that. Now, most importantly, what one has to take from this is that the descriptions he gives is not of that state. He gives descriptions of the things surrounding it, because the thing that he has experienced, he cannot describe it. It is almost impossible to describe that thing. So even when you listen to Buddha or Jesus or anyone, even to, like, literally anyone, you will find that when they describe these states, when they describe these kind of enlightenment or these states, they do not describe that state. They describe what leads to it and what it is not. Because that state is so pure and so without thought and so without any preconceptions and without any chains, that it is entirely without anything. Like, there are no words to describe it. And that is what Krishnamurti also says in this book. So, to be free of all these things, one has to be unconditioned. One has to leave behind all the conditioning, stay away from all the thoughts, all the preconceptions, all the notions that are already in your mind, and that is what makes one closer to God or get that experience of God. Anyways, let me also read you like this summary which is given on the book. So, it says Krishnamurti explores fully the futility of seeking knowledge of the unknowable and shows that it is only when we have ceased seeking with our intellect that we may be radically free to experience reality, truth, or bliss. He presents the religious mind as one that directly perceives the sacred rather than adhering to religious dogmas. So, even I have said a similar thing in one of my God Spectre Speaks episode. It is episode 2. What is reality? You can go and check it out. I released it last year. But yeah, so while reading it, I was kind of reminded of even what I had made during that time. And it is very similar that reality is moment to moment. It is not something that is planned out, that is entirely, like, reality is not a state. Reality is not like this particular thing, that particular thing. Reality is, and reality as it is, if you have to see it, you have to see and perceive it moment from moment. It is ever changing, and it will be ever changing. Reality is not set in stone. Reality is not just this and this. Reality is just is, and you have to experience it, live through it as the moment is, and as the moment goes on, from moment to moment, if you understand what I said. And that is basically just the premise of the book. And there are also many other discussion points. So let me read you through the index some of the points or some of the questions that he asks to the audience as a rhetorical question, and some statements that he has made, which is like, is there something really holy? What is it that drives us to find God? The descriptions are not God. Something that cannot be found by the mind. The religious man. The gods made by the mind are false. In silence, there comes the sacred. How can I experience God? Essence of religion is sacredness. So these are just some topics from the index that I just read, which he kind of describes on, talks about in his many interviews, in his many speeches all around the world, even in India, everywhere. So he dwells on what really meditation is, how does one actually meditate, And meditation isn't about concentration. It's not about concentrating on a thing. It's about a state of nothingness where nothing, you're concentrating on nothing. You're just having attention of what is, and that is reality. So you just get to know what he's talking about meditation, what is religion, and not like the religion that we follow, not Islam, not Hinduism, not Christianity, not all this, formulated religion. What is a religious man, and how does a religious man operate? What is love? How does one actually love? Not the conditional love, that is, I only love you if you are this or that. No, love in its purest, in its fullest form, he talks about that. And that is in this book. So you can of course check it out for yourself as well. And so of course I don't do this much, but this was something that was very kind of aligning with me as my thoughts and my kind of approach towards life and other things as well. So I just wanted to share it. And so of course this is not my main channel. I barely have any subscribers. I mean, I have 0 subscribers right now. So make sure to sub to the channel. And no man, just like the video, maybe share it if you like it. And that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next.